Well. All that optimism and hope as India toward Australia, winning the toss, batting first. Virat Kohli looking good in the nets. It's 56 for 4 after one session at the Adelaide Oval. So it's been about the hosts. Australia's fast bowlers are amongst the wickets. They've had India's top order struggle at one stage, 3 for 19. Just when Ajinkya Rahane was looking all right on 13, down went the fourth wicket to just before lunch. Rohit Sharma's looked solid for his 15 not out of 23, but there have been enough moments that will keep Australia's bowlers interested. VVS Laxman, Ajit Agarkar, Brad Hodge, and we'll also hear from Melinda, Farrell on ESPNcricinfo Matchday. We would have hoped for a lot more from a top order on the first session of a test series, Laxman.
Oh, definitely. And India will be really disappointed. Yes, good discipline effort from the Australian bowlers. You expect that. We spoke a lot about that. First day of a first test match, the new ball is of great importance. But what was really disappointing was the approach of the batsmen. Even in England, we saw the same. At the start of the England series, we thought that India was a better side than England. England was low in confidence, but the way the Indian team approached the Birmingham Test match, you just got the confidence back in the English players, and they went on to win the Test series comfortably. So I think the mistake is again being repeated, and it was very evident that the game plan of the Australian bowlers was to pitch the ball up, force the batsmen to play on the front foot. And they benefited from that game plan. How beautifully they executed that game plan and the discipline they showed. Not too many deliveries wide outside the off stump, not too many deliveries where they gave the room or allowed the Indian batsmen to play on the back foot. And Indian batsmen, when they see the dismissals, they will be really disappointed with the shots they played.
How many of those 4 wickets have Australia really had to work for?
I mean, they've been really consistent. I mean, we know all 4 guys have absolute quality, all the 4 bowlers, but you still have to bowl well. They were consistent. They threw that one wide consistently. But it's just poor batting. I mean, first morning of the test match, you can see it'll eventually be a really good batting track. The opposition's playing with 4 bowlers. You want to try and tire them out, and they'll be disappointed. Catching was great again. I think one thing that England maybe missed were a few catches. Australia has not made that mistake on a really good pitch, but the bowling's been very good, but batting very disappointing.
This is a good pitch though. 56 for 4 is not a reflection of how this pitch is.
It's a flat wicket.
It's a flat pitch.
There was not
so
much
all
of
the more
lateral movement. There was no swing in the air. It was just poor shot selection. And also, see, when you're playing test match cricket, I mean, it's a whole saying, which I think is still the basics of test match batting, is the first 1 hour you give to the bowlers and then you reap the benefits of that. And patience is a virtue. When you build test match innings, you have to show that discipline, you have to show that patience. And one of the important aspects of playing good test match innings is to know where your off stump is. And if you see that dismissals, none of them were wicket-taking deliveries. Yeah, there were some stunning catches, but all the 3 wickets of the fast bowlers, all the 4 wickets in fact, were loose shots, wide outside the off stump, which you're supposed to leave in the first session of a test match.
You get carried away if you think the wicket's flat. Can you get carried away as a batsman?
You should not. You should not, because you play onto the merit of the ball, but you also have a game plan.
And none of them have got to 20. I mean,
they're playing
even
too many
even
shots
a great
too
batsman
soon.
still.
Barring Pujara, they're playing too many shots too soon, you would say.
Yeah, I mean, all of them. I mean, you look at the dismissal. Okay, there was some good bowling before that, and maybe that set it up a little bit. But you've got to be good enough to counter that on a first morning.
Brad Hodge, some serious psychological points or early points blown by the Australians. Had they just been a good quiet session and then set the platform for a big score, might have flattened things out. But this gives this Australian team a serious amount of hope. 56 for 4, major session this.
Yeah, it was a huge session for Australia. I think they bowled really well. As VVS and Ajit pointed out, they pitched the ball up. They challenged the techniques of the Indian batsmen, and they just played too wide of the crease. I mean, first morning of the Test match, as VVS said, you want to give those first 20 overs to bowlers, so you have to tighten up your technique. And Australia have caught well, but all in all, Australia have executed their plans really well. They've pitched the ball up on a wicket which had not a lot of offering, but they got the best out of the Kookaburra early, and they've made huge inroads into that Indian lineup.
Yeah, I mean, you say they've caught well. That's actually testament to the new look slip cord, and they mustn't have spent too much time with each other. Peter Handscomb's come back to this side. Usman Khwaja's missed a little bit of cricket and takes a blinder. That's one thing Australia could have helped themselves. If we saw England and India put a lot of catches down in England, you're not expecting that from the Australians. They're really sharp in that slip cordon.
Yeah, well, we know that at the moment we're probably not at the top of our game in terms of batting department, so we can't give great players good opportunities. That catch from Usman Khawaja was spectacular, as you can see, and whether he'd do it again, who knows? But the sharp catches of Aaron Finch in third slip and Peter Handscomb in second slip, you know that our bowling unit's going to create chance to find the wicket. You've got to be ready to take it and have done that successfully.
Spend some more time on that Usman Khawaja catch. I don't know if you remember an absolute blinder that you would have gotten out to, and the feeling you just have to give it up that it's just one of those that is taken as a batsman. You're looking to get a nice big score and someone takes an absolute blinder early on.
Yeah, I think if it's of a good delivery, then you feel
What
really
was this
bad.
of a good delivery?
That was not a good
Not a
delivery.
good
While the plan, which was talked about so much in the media, is that Australian bowlers are going to pitch the ball up and force Virat Kohli to play the cover drive, because they feel that's one area where Virat Kohli can be vulnerable. But having said that, the discipline which Virat showed in the England series, because in 2014 he struggled with the ball pitched up and outside the off stump. So he showed a lot of discipline, even though he got close to 600 runs. He knew where his off stump was. He knew that he had to leave a lot of deliveries, but here he will be disappointed. Keeping in mind that India lost 2 wickets, it was very important for Virat Kohli to play a captain's knock, which we know he can do, and build that partnership and see through till lunch. So he'll be really disappointed with that shot he played.
I like that you're saying that it was known that this is going to be a plan. We're just going to look at where the Australian bowlers bowled that session. I'd love for Ajit to just jump in on this, because we expected this from Australia's fast bowlers. This is their strength. This is where they had to, if this blow has to be struck, it's got to be by Australia's pacers. Lots of stuff that's full and of a length, but they've used the short of length and short ball judiciously as well. We knew that the ball was going to come full from these Australian fast bowlers.
Yeah, I mean, the new Kookaburra ball, you need to use it. I think it doesn't swing for that long, 10, 12, sometimes maybe 15 overs. If you don't make use of it, I think they were desperate to have early wickets. That Rahul shot sort of helped them, and all the wickets after that. I think use of the crease has been exceptional. A lot of them have gone wide of the crease. Just changes the way the batsman looks at the ball. From the angle that it comes, you tend to play at it a lot more. Hazelwood in particular, even Cummins, going wide of the crease almost feels like it's angling into you, and then if it holds its line, it's like a good outswinger. So, no, really good discipline stuff and quality stuff. But it's still a good pitch, and they had to bowl that well. India have made the job a little bit easier for them by playing the shots that they have.
It takes one session for social media's narrative to change. So here we go. I'm taking your questions and comments now. Shashiraj, disappointing session, absolute nonsense batting. Well done. Shantanu Hindu, Rahul's getting too many chances. Time to look somewhere else. Also some harsh words against the batting coach.
Might come out and get 100 next innings.
Of course, and then the comments will be different. I'm just reading the comments for this session. Chirag Doshi also says too much arrogance from the Indians. They took this too easy. Vikas Singh, remove Rahul and Rahane. Okay, calm down. Everybody, it's been one session, but there is some optimism from Rohit Sharma. Rohit Sharma looking good. Ajinkya Rahane in particular getting some flack for getting a start and not getting it right. Poor shot selection, says Zain Abbasi. Mohsin Malik says Rohit Sharma almost like Warner will prove his worth. So it seems to be a mixed bag.
The one thing, maybe Laxman is better equipped to comment on it, but just everyone looked like going hard at the ball. No one seemed calm. Even Virat Kohli today, okay, he's far too good, but just looked like wanting to play the ball a lot more. Maybe first session or the first test, first day, you can bat a bit differently.
I'm saying, looking at South Africa, there was a tough Cape Town pitch on, whenever India got to bat. Looking at Edgbaston, there was something in it. You'd think they'd learn from this and there'd be, some sort of learning or improvement from those experiences. Why has that not happened? I know it's only one session and one innings, but it could set the tone for the entire series. Why has this not happened, Laxman?
I think mental discipline, and that's so important. If you have to succeed at the highest level, you have to show that mental discipline, that great determination. And it has to start from the first innings of the test series, because you can't play the catch-up game, and that's been the problem in South Africa, that's been the problem in England, and you expect the team Indian batting lineup, they're experienced players. I can understand if Prithvi Shaw goes and plays those kind of shots, who's playing his third test match, but it's experienced batting lineup, Rahul has been there for some years now, Murli Vijay, most experienced opening batsman in the batting lineup, who knew for so many years how to get runs in overseas condition. It's not that they're playing for the first time on foreign soil. So they'll be really disappointed because the confidence level with which India should have approached the first session of the Test series, and that would have dictated the terms for the rest of the series. Not to say that they will come back into the Test match. There's no doubt about that, but the initiative should have been taken by the Indian batsmen, and then the Australians would have felt the pressure. At the moment, Australia is on top.
I mean, it's situational awareness also. The bowlers were bowling really well.
Yes.
So you've got to respect that. And even though the conditions were obviously starting to get a bit flatter, you still got to respect how well Australia was bowling at that point.
Oh, they've had their tails up, the Australians. Let's go to Melinda Farrell, who joins us now just outside the Adelaide Oval. Mel, hope you can hear me. Just thoughts on that first session, and Australia might have been with their tails up and chirping and whatnot after losing the toss and seeing 4 wickets fall on what VVS and Ajit have both described as a reasonably flat pitch.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really in it. We were watching, there was not really much movement in the air. Just a couple of observations, really, after watching those first few batsmen in particular, the loose shots, the way they went so hard at balls that they didn't need to go at. But if you look at Virat Kohli's innings, if you look at it, it lasted for 16 balls all up, and there were 2 bounces in there. And then, apart from 2 other balls, everything else was pretty much straight at the stumps. There were only 2 deliveries that were bowled in the channel outside off stump. The first one, Kohli left, and the second one was the wicket ball. So Australia had that planned to him. I've been talking to our very own Sid Monga up in the press box. He's dissected a lot of attacks to Virat Kohli, and he said he hasn't really seen teams use that kind of plan to him. So I thought that was really quite interesting that Australia went that way, not being worried by the lack of a lot of movement. The other thing that was interesting, Pat Cummins has bowled 4 deliveries to Virat Kohli in Test cricket, and he's taken his wicket with 2 of them. So I'm going to be pretty interested to see how that contest unfolds throughout the summer, and I'm trying to work out how many times you have to get someone out before they're officially your bunny.
Oh my. Is that what you're teasing, Melinda Farrell, at this point? Let Virat Kohli not hear this. There are still, 7 more innings to go for him. But I like that you brought this point up, that there doesn't seem to be this well thought of plan to Virat Kohli, at least in recent times. I wonder if Brad Hodge is still with us. Let me take those comments to Hodge. Does it look like a well thought of, well conceived plan to bowl to Virat Kohli? Mel points out exactly where they bowled, how much they used the short ball in a 16-ball innings. It was a fairly well thought out attack that Virat Kohli needs to be bowled here when he comes out.
Sorry, I missed that. I got distracted by one of your colleagues.
Oh, that's all right, Hodge. I'm saying that Mel points out that it looked like it was a well thought, well conceived plan, that this is where we're going to bowl to Virat Kohli. This is how much we're going to use the short ball. This is how much we're going to tempt him outside of. We haven't seen another bowling attack get it this well early on to Kohli. Did it seem like a well thought plan that worked for you?
Yeah, I thought that was the plan which Virat might have been expecting, actually. We know how strong he is off his pads, and we saw him in the net yesterday, dealing with some short balls. So I think he would have been well ready for that plan. I think it was just an execution. He likes to feel bat on ball, and it was one of them deliveries which he probably thought it was there to cover drive, before, but just the extra bounce and pace in an Adelaide wicket in the first morning carried it through to gully. But I think that's an area where a lot of teams have actually challenged Virat, trying to get him hitting that cover region. So strong in a lot of the areas, which I thought he would have been well.
Okay, just quickly going back to Melinda Farrell before we excuse her from her duties outside the Adelaide Oval. I thought with the amount of chat around Virat Kohli and the mileage he's getting from the Australian press, Mel, that half of Adelaide would show up and fill up the stands at the Adelaide Oval. I see a lot of empty seats. Was that expected on a Thursday morning, or are you disappointed with the turnout?
Yeah, there was a little bit of talk about just how the ticket sales hadn't necessarily been so good here, but also how they were expecting a record crowd. So I'm not quite sure how that works. A little bit disappointed, I have to admit, although I think a lot of the fans are back in the shade because it is scorching hot here. It's 39 degrees, so if you can stay out of that sun, you will. The thing I'm most worried about, though, can you believe it? I don't know if you've been up with the news here, but over the weekend, there are no trains running to the city centre. They're expecting that to affect 20 to 30% of the crowd that will be coming here. So the state government here is not particularly popular with cricket goers over this weekend. I hope that doesn't really badly affect walk-ups. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed. I would have thought that there would be more, but maybe it will grow as this test goes on.
Well, we'll spare you any more labour in the 39 degrees in Adelaide. So thank you very much. Mel, Farrell, we'll get your thoughts again as this test match goes on. We keep the conversation going with Laxman and Ajit. Thoughts on we'll stick to the Virat Kohli conversation, because if it is something that they've thought of, Mel says it's something that Kohli also should expect. So again, is he just guilty of?
I think a lot of attacks have tried that.
Yeah.
They probably don't have had, or they haven't had the variety or the quality to do it for a period of time. Again, it's the extra bounce that has carried it to Gully. I mean, it took an exceptional catch. That one goes through Gully. Maybe he doesn't play that shot again. Didn't look in too much trouble before that, all the balls that it faced. But that is something he'll have to watch out for. I'm sure he was expecting that. I think most teams tried. I think England bowled well to him early on when the balls did swing. Once he got that 100 in that first innings, he was a different player. So nothing unexpected. You've got to give it to Khwaja. I mean, that's an exceptional piece of fielding.
Fair enough.
It doesn't take it. Who knows? It could turn out to be a different story.
More comments coming in on our Facebook Live. Gaurav Sundararaman, one of our data analysts, of course. A keen observation. Pujara does not play limited overs cricket. Does that make a difference? 46 of the 62 balls that he's played in this session have been well left or defended. Lakshman, well left, defended, 46 out of 62. Can the other batsmen learn a little from Pujara?
Yeah, they have to learn. And I think that's the basics of test match batting, especially as an opener. That's your responsibility. I mean, the role of an opener is not only to get runs, to make sure that the new ball gets soft, the new ball loses its shine, and then they can capitalize, and then the middle order also can capitalize, and that's why there's a huge responsibility on the openers in overseas conditions. But having said that, I was really surprised with the way even Ajinkya Rahane played to Nathan Lyon. That shows that they don't have confidence in their defensive technique, and because one of the important aspects of playing big knocks in test matches is to have confidence and faith in your defensive technique, because you're playing against good quality opposition bowlers. They will be bowling good spells, they will be challenging deliveries you have to face. So you always cannot play those loose shots which can fetch you runs in ODI cricket or T20 cricket, because there are not many attacking fields in the shorter version of the game. So this same shots, when it takes an outside edge, can go to third man for a single, whereas you have fielders who will take that catches. So I think it's important to show faith in your defensive technique. Above all, patience is very, very important. If you don't show that patience and you're playing against quality bowlers, you will be exposed.
Can you show faith in your defense if you're not secure about it? Do you think these batsmen are secure enough of their defense?
When you're playing test match cricket, when you're playing international cricket, you have to be secure and you have to have belief in your ability and in your technique. Otherwise, you should not go out and play for your country. So I think that's the basics of playing international cricket. If you're not secure and if you're not having faith in your technique as such, and have a game plan, if you're not having faith in your game plan, then you'll be struggling to score runs consistently.
I mean, that's the disappointing aspect of this performance. I mean, you can still get out. It's the familiar sort of pattern that India has had. I mean, Virat Kohli does have a problem there, but he's far too great a batsman, and he adjusts to that and counters that. Maybe some others can't do it, so maybe they have to approach their innings a little bit differently. So, yeah, very disappointing from India. I think they've had tougher conditions in England or South Africa, and you could excuse one or two shots there, but here you can see it's going to flatten out as the day progresses. Yeah. All you had to do was make life for the Australian bowlers a little bit tougher.
Can they make that any tougher in the next session? Before we get there, we played this little game with VVS, Ajit and Brad. We started in the pre-show. It's called Fab 4. They pick 4 players, and depending on how those players perform on each day, they get points. Runs, wickets, catches, run-outs, everything counts. So let's just have a look, because there was some overlapping by these 3 gentlemen, but as they thought India would get lots of runs, they put Murli Vijay and Ajinkya Rahane in that team for Ajit Agarkar. So he's managed to get 24 points out of the Indian batsmen. Nathan Lyon has a lot of bowling to do today, and Josh Hazlewood's 2 wickets have got him 40 points. He gets another one and he gets a few bonus points as well. So Ajit Agarkar sitting pretty on 64 points. Let's see
better than my fantasy football.
Yeah, Okay, let's have a look at how VVS and Brad Hodge have also fared. Virat Kohli shockingly has not got you great points today. So 14 points for the batsman, another 20 for Mitchell Starc, which takes you to 34, and then 40 for Hazelwood. So 74 for VVS. But like I said, there's a lot of bowling still to come. Did you expect the bowlers to get you more points than the batsmen?
I mean, just by the rules and the points you're giving, you expect the bowler to get 1 or 2 wickets. And there's also bowlers there.
Only our rules are in favor of the
bowlers, which is good to see.
About time.
Brad Hodge picked only one bowler. He said India are going to get lots of runs.
Oh, he's got Rohit
And
Sharma.
but Rohit Sharma can add to those 15, that's right. So 29 points so far from the batsman, and then another 40, so 69. So 69, 64 and 74. It's quite close. And the difference could very well be Rohit Sharma, who I must say was a bit of a left field selection for day one of what we thought was a flat Adelaide pitch. But well done, Hodge.
Well, so far so good. But Rohit's my boy. You know, I need him to score a big ton and a half so I can get my points up there, because my other 2 prime batsmen are out. So we need a good couple of sessions from Rohit in the last 2.
Okay, before we wrap things up, Rohit Sharma is out there. This could be a defining innings. The stage is set for an innings that could last a long time in Rohit Sharma's memory. There are question marks about his technique. Who better than Akash Chopra once again to answer some of them?
Rohit Sharma is one of the few Indian batsmen who likes pace, who likes bounce. In fact, he's quite at home when you bowl faster at him. And what makes him special, how he stands out from the rest, is his unique way of not really moving his feet. For every other batsman, there is either a forward press as a trigger movement or back and across movement, and then they follow it up with another movement, either a long forward stride or they go deep inside the crease. But with Rohit Sharma, very often you'd find that he doesn't move that much. He'll have a very small trigger movement, which will be a forward press. But from there, he has the ability to swivel and play that pull shot. It lands in the stands quite often. And if the ball is full, he's got wonderful hands that go through the line of the ball, and he plays those wonderful drives as well. So that should actually hold him in good stead in Australia. But that's not been the case thus far. So will he be successful this time? Well, he can be. He has a lot going for him, provided he actually stays, or rather remains himself. What we have seen in the past, recent past, whatever little opportunities he's got in red ball cricket, it felt that he was trying to dispel a notion. He was portraying a different Rohit Sharma, the test batsman, who was completely different from Rohit Sharma, the one-day batsman, the T20 batsman, because in South Africa, you got a feeling that he was trying to defend balls that he would hit otherwise. And when you start playing a different role, a different brand of cricket to what that comes naturally to you, there is a possibility of a failure more often than not. And that's what he needs to keep in mind in Australia this time around. Just if the ball is there to be hit, just hit it as you would in one-day cricket. The other thing that he has to be slightly careful of is the second new ball. Because he'll be batting at number 5, number 6 perhaps. That's where he might just be facing the second new ball. And then I would suggest that be a little more careful, a little more conservative when you're playing through the line, because in one-day cricket, he of course plays a lot of new ball, but then the ball doesn't move that much. The bowlers are not pitching the ball that fuller, and there are hardly slips or a few slips standing. But it will all change in Australia. So just be a little more careful with second new ball. Other than that, just play the brand of cricket that Rohit Sharma, the one-day cricketer, plays, and I have no doubt that he can leave a mark on this tour.
He certainly made a mark this first session. 15 out of 23, hook shot of Pat Cummins that went for 6. So there are the ingredients, but he finds ways to get out again, Rohit Sharma. So let's hope that doesn't happen from an Indian point of view. What's the approach you'd like for a Rohit Sharma to take? Just the way he's playing, hit if it's there to hit it.
Yeah, just play your national game, and have trust in the game plan. And again, it's very clear what lines and lengths the Australian bowlers are going to bowl, and it's fantastic to see them execute, because the moment Rohit Sharma came, you knew that they're going to bowl bounces. Yeah, he timed the ball well and it went for a sixer, but that's going to be a lot more to be seen in the next session as well. But again, it's important to build that partnership. It's not about your individual score, it's about what the team requires at the moment. Team requires you to build a partnership with Pujara and play the entire session. So not necessarily to look at runs, but play on the merit of the ball. And any batsman, if they play with a positive mindset, automatically they'll start looking to leave the ball if it's required to leave, and they'll defend a good delivery. but it's important to think about the bigger picture, which is a partnership at the moment.
Could it get a bit harder to bowl now? Could it flatten out? 27 overs old, this Kookaburra ball.
Yeah, I mean, you won't have that any sort of movement really. Nathan Lyons looked really good when he's bowled. So if he gives them that control, then the seam bowlers can keep rotating, keeps them fresh. I think another impressive aspect has been the 27 overs in spite of the seamers bowling. Doesn't happen too often in international cricket these days that the overs are bowled on time. So no, I think more of the same for Australia. Maybe they might vary the lengths a little bit if it starts getting too flat. But other than that, I can't imagine them doing anything too different when you've got 4 wickets already.
They only have 4 bowlers, Brad Hodge, as we look ahead to this session. If India can bat time and time enough, of which Cheteshwar Pujara is one guy who can do that, just give me a quick word on Pujara. The guy, what impact does he have on bowlers? You're getting wickets at one end. This guy doesn't get the scoreboard moving, but does that still have an impact when one guy just soaks things up one end and bats time?
Oh, well, Test match cricket takes 5 days, doesn't it, to win it? So, you have to nullify that new ball, and that's what Pujara has exactly done. It's interesting just in the comments of the social media about him leaving balls and giving the opportunities for other batsmen to play big shots. They just have to hone it in first morning of the Test match and do exactly what he's done. He'll cash in after lunch. It's 39 degrees out there, so another 40 minutes of taking out the wicket. It's going to be flat after lunch. The chance for him to really cash in it. As a top order player, you just want to get through that morning of cricket, cash in after lunch. He's a real thorn in every team's side where he tries to play rather type and let the middle cash in.
All right, we'll just have a quick look at the leaderboard of the Fab 4 then. I'll just put that out for you. But it's neck and neck between Laxman, Agarkar and Hodge, and one more session could change that. My God, which picture of Ajit Agarkar's have we dug out and taken? VVS looks stunning. He's on 74 right now. Brad Hodge, still from his playing days, 69, 74 and 64 to these 3 fine gentlemen. We'll see how that stands at tea time. So many thanks, Laxman and Ajit. Many thanks to Brad Hodge too. All eyes on Rohit Sharma and Cheteshwar Pujara if they can somehow stage some kind of fight back. Otherwise, Australia have had it all in the first session of play. Download the ESPNcricinfo mobile app, ball by ball updates and all the very latest from this Adelaide Test. First session to Australia. Let's see if the visitors can fight back in session 2.